Welcome everyone to another episode of A Dark Tale, where the stories get real dark, real fast. Let's roll the intro. Welcome everyone to another episode of A Dark Tale, where we share with you 3 stories weekly. And this week is no different, but I apologize so much because this week the video is going to come out late. I am pretty sure that it's going to be in the weekends, but as promised, I always deliver to make sure that you have videos weekly. And again, I'd like to thank, the first thing I'd like to thank is the subscribers, the viewers, because it has grown quite exponentially for the past 1 month, I guess. So thank you so much. If you are new here, do comment down below what topics you want me to cover. Maybe like you want to hear these kind of stories, or maybe HDB stories, maybe you want to hear BTO stories, renovation stories, even the Ghost Festival stories, because now we are currently in the Ghost Festival month. And due to that, thankfully, I really have 3 stories for you today, even though they are short stories. So I'm sorry if it doesn't, this video doesn't go for so long lah, basically. But of course, stories are still stories, and I'm glad that you guys submitted your stories. And if you have a story of your own, do not forget to submit at A Dark Tale on TikTok. Just DM me, then I'll accept your request, and then we can start chatting and you tell me your story lah. Okay, so let's not waste so much time and dive into the first story of tonight. For the first story of tonight, of course, we follow the theme of the 7, basically the Hungry Ghost month lah. And this is when it's basically a cautionary tale. Don't come back late at night during the 7th month. So let's dive into the first story of tonight. And this is what the person has to say. So growing up in an Asian household, the 7th lunar month was always something we treated with extreme caution and respect. Every Hungry Ghost festival, you will see those red metal beams at the foot of almost every HDB block. Smoke rising into the air, to the night air, as families burn the paper offerings, lay out the food for those wandering spirits. We were always taught the unspoken rule: don't step on the ashes, don't kick the food offerings, and get home before it gets too late. But I never expected that following those traditions would lead to an encounter I will never forget. It happened a few years ago. I was walking back home late one evening after work. As I approached my block, I noticed a family gathering at the grass patch near the void deck. They were holding joysticks and quietly burning offerings in the red bin. So if you guys are not Chinese, or you have been living under a cave, if you don't know about this, or you are from another country lah, during this month, the Chinese, what they do is they burn paper offerings, and they also put out food for the wandering spirits lah. So if the wandering spirits are nearby, then they can eat lah, basically. So she noticed the family was doing their offerings and whatnot, right? And just a few meters away from them, near the edge of the pavement, an old lady was squatting on the concrete path. She looked a bit weak. She was wearing like very simple clothes. But what caught my attention was that she was squatting right on the hard floor. And she had food in her hands. And she was on the cold hard floor eating the food that was laid in her hands lah. Watching her, a sudden wave of disappointment and frustration washed over me. I looked at the family praying just a few feet away. They looked completely fine, well dressed, and they were doing their prayers. Yet here was this poor old lady, probably their grandmother or mother, forced to squat on the cold floor just to eat her meal. They haven't even bothered to bring her like a plastic stool, a chair to sit on, at least make her feel a bit comfortable. So this broke my heart. I couldn't understand how a family could treat an elderly relative with such neglect, especially in public. So instead of starting a confrontation right there and then, I decided to do something about it. I went up to my flat, unlocked the door, and grabbed a lightweight foldable chair from my storeroom. I hurried back down the lift hoping she was still there so she wouldn't have to suffer on her knees. When I finally the lift reached down and I went to the grass patch again, the old lady was gone. The food containers which was laid out in front of her was all still there, but she was nowhere inside. The family that was beside her was just finishing up their prayers, like they were placing the joystick and everything into the ground. So I walked over to them, holding the foldable chair that I just brought down in my hand. So she went towards them and they said, excuse me. I said it's gently, trying to keep my voice polite despite my frustration. I saw an old lady squatting here eating the food just now. It really don't look so comfortable for her. So I brought this chair from home. You can just keep it lah, like let her just sit down. Because if she come back down again, at least she has a proper place to sit. Because just now I look at her, she looks like she's sitting on her knees and it must be so painful for an old person. The moment those words left my mouth, the entire void deck, the atmosphere just froze. The family members stopped in their track. They turned around and stared at me, their faces instantly draining of colour. So basically she was talking to the whole family, right? And the middle-aged man in the center looked at me, his eyes wide with sheer panic. He asked me this. What old lady? What are you talking about? I pointed to the spot on the pavement where I saw the old lady just now and where all the food containers was. The old lady, the one who was sitting right there just now, eating the food that she was holding. The man then whispered, looking around frantically. He said, bro, there is no old lady with us. It's just our family here. A heavy, terrifying silence fell over all of us. Looking at their pale, terrified expressions, my stomach started to turn and drop in this bottomless pit. I realized in the exact second that I didn't see a human being at all. I had just witnessed an uninvited wandering spirit squatting on the floor and eating the food offerings they had set out. So basically what she saw was, when she was walking past, she saw this old lady eating and she was like so hungrily, what she saw was the person greedily eating all the food offerings. But at that point she thought that the old lady was just hungry and she's just trying to eat. But now that thinking back, she realized that actually the lady was eating the food as if she haven't eaten for many, many years. So she just the mother in the family straightaway grabbed her children and pulled them close, her eyes darting nervously towards any dark corners of the void deck. Everyone in the group was visibly terrified. Realizing the sheer terror I had just unleashed on them, I panicked. I said, Oh, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I must have made a mistake. I'm sorry for the confusion. Maybe I just never really see properly lah. Then I started backing away slowly. I turned around and practically almost sprinted back towards the lift lobby, still holding the foldable chair in my hand. As the lift doors were closing, I caught one last glimpse of the family. They were rushing, packing up their things and in absolute terror, looking over their shoulders in the darkness. So they were packing and then they were just trying to make sure that whatever that was there is not following them back home. So to this day, every time the 7th month rolls around, I get goosebumps whenever I see food offerings laid out at the void deck. I can still vividly recall that old lady's face and how she looked up at me while eating her food. So that was the first story of tonight. Wow, I have heard these stories pretty much a lot of time lah, where they actually see people that are not there, and they think that they are people. So I don't have the third eye, and my question is actually when people who have the third eye they see stuff, because there is a group of people who say that they see like those creatures, like those demonic entities, and there's other people who have said that they just look normal. They don't look like anything different. So they can't even tell apart from normal humans and them. So that is the question I always have in my head, because if we are able to see the spirits and whatnot, will we see them as humans, or will we see them as demons, or maybe just both? I'm not sure lah. So whoever who has the third eye, do enlighten me. And if you got the third eye, of course, do scan my house for anything. So because I know that some people who have the third eye can watch a video and then let people know that like, oh, there's something there on your left, on your right. So wait, I don't know if I want to find out or not. But if you do have a third eye, then just let me know lah. So before moving on to our second story of tonight, just some things that I want to talk about is, first of all, I love your feedback that you guys have been giving me about what to do next, what can I improve on. So I hope that the newer videos have been improved. But of course, like video quality and all not and whatnot, I can't change the camera and what right now because of firstly I need to know how this channel is going to be like and what's the growth of the channel. But thankfully, thank you everyone for subscribing and watching the channel, because the views has been growing steadily. I don't want to jinx it, but if this keeps up, then I can do some investment, maybe get a better camera, change the layout of where I am, maybe get a proper place where I can put a green screen or something like that lah. So right now, this channel is not monetized. It's for me basically to talk with like-minded people. So I love horror like 100%. I can watch horror movies again and again, different kind of horror movies, read horror stories, and even start a horror channel. So I'm very into horror, and I would like to meet like-minded people where they share with me their experiences, and I would like to know all these kind of things, because this is what is my side hobby, I guess. Yeah, so I will definitely improve on maybe the lighting, the cameras and everything, but it's if, let's say, it's only if the viewership are steady lah. So if let's say hopefully in the future, now I'm averaging maybe about 300, 200 views around there. But if I can manage to hit 1,000 views, maybe 1,500, 2,000, then I will go and invest in a camera. And oh yeah, talking about 2,000 views, the Tengah video has hit 2,000 views. So I'm very, very thankful for everyone who have watched the Tengah video, give me your feedback, or have came from the Tengah video. Because I was quite shocked that maybe a lot of people who watched the video actually come from Tengah. I'm not sure, but the Tengah video actually hit 2,000 views. If we can keep that up for every single video, then I would gladly do the investment in changing the cameras and everything lah. But for now, due to time constraint, budget constraint, this will be the setup for now. But I have a lot of things planned in the future. And talking about that, that's a good way to go to the next thing that I want to talk about is basically the next week's video. Okay, maybe I will keep it until after I tell the second story, so that you guys don't get too bored hearing me just yap around lah. Okay, so let's go on to the second story of tonight. This person have named themselves, and it's okay for me to share the name lah. So Say, "Hi, my name is Elise. I have a short but really strange experience to share that happened to me a while back. It was around 11 p.m. during the 7th lunar month. I had booked a Grab ride to head out and meet some friends for late night supper lah. You know how we always go out late at night, grab some supper with some of our friends and all that, right? So I booked a Grab and I went down to the pickup point of my block. And I stood there waiting in the quiet night air until I saw the car approaching. So now usually, Grab drivers will pull up right in front of you as close as possible, so it's easy for you to get in their vehicle. But as this car approached, the driver slowed down and stopped a good distance away, almost a couple of meters away from her. He rolled down his window, leaned over. So basically, she was just standing there, and this Grab driver came right in front of her, but a few meters off lah. And he rolled down his window and leaned over and looked at me up and down, visibly annoyed, with a visibly annoyed expression on his face. He said, "You people are always trying your luck. It's already stated in the app, if you have kids, you need to book with a child safety seat. You don't want to listen, and in the end, it's us drivers who get the fine, the saman lah, basically. So now how you won't cancel lah the booking, because it's not my fault, it's your fault. You brought a kid along." I just stood there in complete silence, staring into blank space, trying to process what on earth he was talking about. So basically, in her head, she was having this mind voice going on. "Hey, what kid? I'm completely alone." Seeing me freeze up, the driver waved his hand frantically through the open window, trying to get my attention lah. And that snapped me out of my trance. I replied, "Uncle, what kid are you talking about? I don't have a kid with me." He looked at me with pure skepticism. As if he didn't believe a single word coming out of my mouth. I pointed down at the empty pavement beside me. "Look for yourself, what kid?" Curious and still annoyed, he actually unbuckled his seatbelt, stepped out of the vehicle, and walked around to inspect the area around me. Seeing nothing on the empty pavement, he smacked his lips in realization, looking confused. Sorry miss, never mind, you can come in. I think I see wrongly. So, if you guys don't know, when people smack their lips, it's like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. So, slightly irritated by the awkward encounter, I opened the door and climbed inside. The car was those spacious 7-seater MPV, a Toyota Noah. I sat in the middle row, pulled out my phone, and tried to ignore the strange things that just happened. As he drove, I began noticing that the driver kept darting his eyes up to the rearview mirror every few seconds. It felt a bit odd, but I brushed it off. So when he was driving, he was just... and she was using her phone, and she could see that the driver was constantly checking on her, which was kind of weird because it's quite creepy, right? Then we hit a red light. As the car came to a complete stop, the driver looked into the rearview mirror again and suddenly gasped out loud, flinching in his seat. I jumped, startled by his reaction. "Uncle, what happened now? What's going on?" I was quite angry at this moment. He turned back, apologized, and insisted that it was nothing before continuing to drive. But at this point, I couldn't keep quiet anymore. His behavior had been weird from the moment he picked me up. So I had to get answers. "Uncle, tell me now, why have you been acting so weird since you saw me?" I asked firmly. He gave me an awkward smile in the mirror and said, "Miss, I think better I don't say anything now lah. Later then I tell you, can?" So about 10 minutes before reaching my destination, I couldn't take the suspense anymore and pressed him again. That was when he finally opened up. So he said, when I was pulling up to your drop off point earlier, then his voice started dropping to a lower tone. I saw a small boy standing right behind you. He was fidgeting and playing with those keychains dangling from your back. You know, your back have the keychains. He was playing with that thing. My heart stopped. And just for context, I always keep a lot of plushies and dangling keychains attached to my bag. And the driver continued, I was very sure I saw a little boy playing with your keychains, and that's why I got so angry, thinking you were trying to sneak a kid into the car without a car seat. But when I got down to check, nobody was there. He took a deep breath before looking into the mirror again. So he checked again. Then, while driving just now, when I guessed, I kept feeling this heavy, strange vibe coming from behind me. And when we stopped at the red light, I looked in the mirror again and I saw the head of the same small boy peeking out just over at the back row of the seats. A wave of cold chills ran down my entire spine because I'm using my phone at the front, the first row. You're telling me that the boy is still following me at the back row of the car? The driver told me that this was originally supposed to be his last trip of the night before heading back home. But after seeing the extra passenger, he decided he was going to take a few more bookings and drive around to get more customers, get people coming in and out of his car so that the entity didn't follow him back to his family. He strongly advised me to do the same before heading indoors. But fortunately, I was on my way to meet a group of friends for supper. That was the whole reason for this Grab ride. And this supper was in a crowded area, so I was safe. But the funny thing is that throughout this entire ride, I personally didn't feel a single heavy aura, goosebump, or like a creepy sensation, nothing, until the uncle told me what he saw. But after hearing what he have told me, I wasn't taking any chances. I recited some prayers under my breath before stepping out of the car and said a few more before eventually heading home that night. It just goes to show, during the 7th month, even if you feel completely fine and think you're walking alone, you never really know what might be tagging along for the ride. So that was the second story about an entity following her through the Grab ride to the next location. Because I don't know, I don't think my perspective is that ghosts always stay at where they want to be to haunt basically. Because if you are a ghost and then you go to another location where there are another ghost, I guess there's territory wars. But it's creepy, if you think about it, this ghost, if the uncle didn't say it, and because she's those type of person that don't feel anything at all, and if the uncle don't say it, what if the entity actually followed back home? Or actually it started causing things to happen in her life? Thankfully, she was going out to have supper, not returning back home from supper, because that would be a different thing. And then the other side is that the Grab driver, poor Grab drivers, where they don't bring anything into their car, they try to clean their car, they try to, because I see some Grab drivers, they put their amulets or whatever not on their car to protect their car, but then things like this happen when they pick up Grab passengers, where the entity follow the Grab passengers and end up it gets into your car. So you know how like car have washing services? I think during the 7 month they should start the cleansing services where after every night of after every like shift of your uh working hours lah, you can go to wherever this place is and then get your vehicle cleansed. Yeah, so so basically, I don't know, have you guys ever had these experiences maybe in a car where things are at the back row, at the back seat or whatnot? Because it's quite scary to me, especially if you're in a Grab car. Because if let's say you're driving, you can go and stop one side. But if you're in a Grab vehicle and the uncle doesn't believe or the auntie doesn't believe in ghosts, and then you start to feel a weird presence, you start to see something, the uncle is definitely not going to stop for you until you start making a huge fuss lah. So if the uncle is not going to stop for you, you're going to have to go through the whole ride just doing that. You just have to suck thumb lah, basically entertain the ghost lah. So okay, maybe I have been talking too much lah. So before the second story, I told you guys that I have one more thing to share with you guys. But since I've talked too much right now, let's move on to the third story of tonight first. And if you guys do watch until the end of the video and you get a sneak preview of what I'm going to say, then you guys are the real ones that, the real supporters lah, basically. So let's go on to the third story of tonight, which is basically someone almost losing their life. And it's not just losing their life, but they managed to see the entity that has been not following them lah. Let's just go to the story. So this one is really one of my craziest experience. Until today, I genuinely feel like I almost lost my life that night. It happened a few years back when me and my friends decided to go Sentosa for a beach day. We originally planned to hit Siloso Beach early, but because afternoon it was raining heavily, our plans got delayed. By the time we reached there and set up everything, it was almost 4 p.m. But since the day started quite late, we quickly kicked off our slippers and started playing beach soccer on the sand. We played until it was hot, we were sweaty, and then all of us jumped into the cold water to cool off. Everything was super fun. It was such a great day. We hung out until it was practically sundown. And by the time we were almost done, we were the last group left on the entire beach. Since we felt like our day just started only, nobody wanted to go home yet. We just sat around on the sand to talk and chill, but by then it was already pitch black. We got no proper lights facing the beach, the sea, so honestly you couldn't see much out of the water either. So while all of them were talking, I looked out towards the the sea lah. And suddenly I saw something a short distance away in the dark water. It looked like someone was actually swimming. I could only catch glimpses of the head popping up above the water before vanishing again. Then popping up at another spot further down. So basically, you know, like those swimmers, they go up, they catch their breath and then they go down, swim, then they go up, catch their breath and then continue back lah. So that's what he saw lah. Then looking at that person swimming alone at night gave me a sudden urge of adrenaline. I never tried night swimming before, and it looked honestly quite shock lah. I turned to my group excitedly and said, "Guys, let's go swim lah. I never go night swimming before." My friends straight away shut me down. "Hey, you crazy ah? So cold, who want to swim at this hour?" "I swear I just saw someone swimming out there," I replied. "He looked totally fine what, so I think we should be okay also lah. Hey, why not we challenge, see who can stay longer in the cold water?" They just gave me a hard nope. They said they weren't going anywhere near the water, but looking at that swimmer still in the ocean, I got super big FOMO. So FOMO is basically FOMO, which is fear of missing out. I told them, you know what? Never mind. I go alone. So they just waved me off like, hey, you go lah, and told me to go ahead. I walked over to the shoreline and took my first step into the sea. The water was very, very cold. Way colder than I expected. For a second, I wanted to turn back. But when I looked behind, my friends were all watching me. If I back down now, I will confirm be made fun of. And I didn't want that to happen. So, no choice, I took a deep breath and just jumped straight into the water to get that cold feeling over and done with. The moment my body was submerged, it actually felt really, really good. I was floating around in the water enjoying myself. Then I remembered about the swimmer I saw earlier. I turned around and looked all over the sea to see where he went. But it was totally empty. There was nobody around at all. I thought, okay lah, maybe he already swam back to shore somewhere else. So I didn't bother much. And I just continued enjoying the water, slowly drifting deeper until the water... so basically, if I went down, the water would be over my head. Then out of nowhere, boom, something pulled my leg. It was a strong, violent tug. Before I could even hold my breath or process what was happening, I was dragged deep under the water in just seconds. Underneath the water was pitch black. You couldn't see anything at all. I started struggling and flapping my arms frantically, but inside the water, every movement felt like it was in slow motion. I kicked my legs with everything I had and managed to surface for just a few seconds to catch my breath, only to get yanked straight back down again. This time, I could distinctly feel a pair of cold hands wrapping around my ankle. In pure panic, I tried my best to look down through the dark water and like to see maybe it's seaweed, maybe it's something that's holding on to my leg, something that's tangled. But what I saw made my heart literally stop. Right below me was this super hideous looking face creature. It had an unusually massive gaping mouth with thin sharp teeth like needles. Its hands didn't even look human. They were almost like the talons, with 3 long fingers gripping my ankle like iron grips. It felt like this creature was 10 times stronger than I was, and I was completely trapped. My lungs were burning. At that moment, I could only think of death because I was already submerged for long enough. I don't know why I did this, but with my last bit of strength, I looked down at that hideous face and just shook my head no, then kicked up with all my might. By some absolute miracle, the grip broke. I shot up to the surface, broke through the water, and screamed for help at the top of my lungs. So after he managed to kick up, just shout, "Help! Help! Help!" My friends saw me struggling and came running towards the water. But luckily at that point, I managed to swim close enough to the shore and they dragged me into the sand. They straightaway wrapped a towel around me while I lay there shivering. I was gasping for air and staring out at sea. After about 10 minutes, when I finally gained some composure, my friend asked me, "Hey, you okay now? What the hell just happened out there? Like, you were drowning or like you know how to swim? So what's wrong?" I looked at them, but I knew if I told them the real story about some sharp-toothed water demon trying to pull me into the deep sea, they would think I was hallucinating or making up some stupid story. So, I told them, nothing lah, just the sea currents lah, very strong. I think like the sea current was pulling me in, maybe it was night lah, that's why. So we packed up and left Sentosa immediately. But till today, that hideous face in the dark water still haunts me. That night was just the first of many unexplainable things I experienced. But I will leave those stories for another time. So that was the last story of tonight. Wow, the person kept us hanging. He said, I'll leave those stories for another time. Wow. So the confessor, please, when you're free, tell me all your stories, tell me all your experiences, because maybe I think you got the third eye, because you can see this creature and like you can give detailed expression. Because okay, to me, when I hear this, the first image that comes to my mind is actually the Venom. You know, the character that it's in the Marvel or DC or something like that. So the Venom, you know, it has those sharp teeth and then those white eyes, like those demonic looking thing. Can you imagine having that kind of face with hands that maybe it's like 3 fingers grabbing your ankle and pulling you down in the middle of the night, and you're fully submerged, you cannot scream, you need to hold your breath. Sorry. So you cannot scream, you need to hold your breath. Like, how are you going to escape from this period? So, from what I heard is that during the Hungry Ghost Festival, the cases of drowning is a lot more. So, guys, be careful. I mean, if you're going to go to the swimming pool, like those neighborhood swimming pool, I guess it's fine. But if you want to go out at the sea, then make sure that it is the proper timing. There are people there to watch. So if anything happens, at least people are aware, because there has been a lot of cases that I've seen about kids going out to sea then drowning. I think you probably would have known also. I think there's 2 or 3 cases of the I think it's one of them at Kallang, one of them at ECP, something like that lah. Then there was one more way back. I think it was at some big longkang lah, basically. So be careful, really be careful, because if you drown, then you lose your life. And can you imagine that the last image you see is not of some holy being or anything? It's more of, you see this demonic entity pulling your head or your leg down. So yeah, be very careful. If you guys got any stories again that like this, or any other stories about the ghost, the paranormal, the hantu or whatnot, do go down to my TikTok page in DM me, submit your confessions down there. Then I will accept your request before you tell me the full story. Like, basically, I accept your request, then we can start chatting. So I will ask you things like, when did it happen? Has it always been happening? Do you believe in the paranormal or the supernatural? And things like that lah. So these are some things that I will ask you, and then we have a conversation lah. So again, if you guys don't know, the reason why I started this channel is mainly because I wanted to talk with like-minded people that love the supernatural as well. So if you guys love the supernatural, then please do DM me, and then we can talk from there lah. So that was the last story of tonight, and as promised, I will give you a sneak preview. Okay, it's not a video lah, not a sneak preview video, but okay, next week I'm attempting to do an outdoor shoot, and the worst part of it all, it's I'm probably going to be alone. I'm not sure lah, but if I can't find anybody, then I'll probably do it alone. Location wise, I'm still deciding between 2 locations, but I'm probably going to the one that I have in my mind first. So because I feel like we might not be able to go to that part anymore. But to me, doing exploring, I do a lot of exploring before this, like way back. But it's more of the animals that I'm afraid of. I'm not afraid of a lot of animals, right? Except for wild boar. Because I have got chased by wild boars before in 2 different occasions. So I hate wild boars because like they just charge towards you and then they expect you to move or what, I don't know lah. But every time I stand my ground, thankfully they run towards you and then they turn away lah. But if I'm not lucky, then this huge ass pig is going to come and bang me. So that's a sneak preview of where I'm going lah. Basically, it's going to be like a forest area, and I believe no one has. No, sorry. There has been people that have went to this place before, but for our video, I'm going to try something different. Instead of taking a shortcut to going to that place, I am going to try and attempt to walk the whole forest at night. I'm not sure yet lah. I don't want to give any promises yet, but I am going to try to walk the whole forest alone all the way until the location lah. So basically the forest is like, just imagine the forest is like that. The destination I want to reach is at here, but I think I'm going to start from here all the way, do a night trek all the way there. So I'm not sure how long it would take to walk that distance. I hope not that long, but I want to walk that whole distance and basically show you guys how it looks like at night and what are the experiences. If let's say you want to adventure and you want to go through like you want to take your adventure to another level, then this will probably be it. But no promises again, because I'm afraid that due to time constraint, because I do have a full-time job, this is just my passion. There's no money involved in this thing. Like basically no money coming to me lah. When what I mean by no money involved, so all the equipments that you see is paid by me, but there is no money that is going to be returned back to me. So this is all just purely our passion, just to tell ghost stories, to talk with like-minded people, to entertain people, get this YouTube channel growing. So again, I've reached 1,000 subscribers that I didn't believe that I would do this year. So thankfully I have done it. The second thing is that I'm going to try the outdoor shoot. I don't really have the proper mic equipment. I don't have a lot of the light equipments, but I will just do the best of what I have, and let's pray that it goes smoothly and you guys get a video. If you guys don't get a video, then you better call SOS. Because I might be somewhere in the forest lah. But of course, if not, you guys will have probably good content. And there's a few ways that I'm going to try to do this lah. Either I'm going to tell ghost stories while I walk, or I will make pit stops where I will tell ghost stories lah. But I think I still need to do a daytime recce because I've never been there before. Never been there before. So I'm either going to just try my luck and just go there at night, or go in the daytime and recce the site before actually heading towards to go there lah. Because if at night I get lost and I get, I don't know, chased by a wild boar, I'll have no idea where to run lah. So that's something for me to consider as well. So that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. I really appreciate every single one of you that watched my videos, sit down, watch my videos, gave me constructive feedback, told me what to do, where to go, and like point me in the right direction, because I have no mentor. This is just me doing my videos. It's just purely all me lah. So do forgive me if I make some mistakes. If the video is not to the best of quality or whatnot, I will slowly try to improve and get the best out of what I can. So if you guys really want to support this channel, just give me your likes, your comments, and your views. As long as the algorithm knows that people are watching this video, reaches out to more people, then I can make more content, because I have a bunch of things planned out. Hopefully we can make them come true. So as we slowly go, let's slowly rise up and reach to where we want to go lah. And you guys are the pioneer batch lah, technically, that will be following me. So do comment your name below and talk to me, or if you want me to do live, then that's something we can consider as well. But comment your name so that I know who am I talking to, and like the names, I remember the name because there's a lot of comments, but I do remember people that always comment, like the one I mentioned in the previous video lah. So if you guys like the video, remember, like, comment, and then subscribe. don't forget to also go down to my TikTok page if you have a submission. DM me over there and I'll get back to you. So with that being said, let's end the video here, and I hope you guys have a great weekend.